Hello everybody, this is Tucker Miller here again, and tonight, like I said, for my next movie review, I'm gonna be reviewing on Monsters vs. Aliens. Came out in 2009. So, so the plot of this movie is we got this woman named Susan, who's voiced by Reese Witherspoon, and then Susan was getting married to this guy named Derek, but a meteor hit her and it caused her to turn into a giant. So and the wedding got ruined because of it, and then Susan got sent to this like lab or center or whatever, where she met these monsters named Bob, who is this character, who is voiced by Seth Rogen, Dr. Cockroach, who is this character right here, who is voiced by Hugh Laurie, and Missing Wink, who is voiced by Will Arnett. And so Susan met them and they became friends and all, and then meanwhile there was aliens came to Earth and they are taking over everything. So attacking things and so they must have to stop them, and so it was up to Susan, Dr. Cockroach, and Missing Wink and Bob to take down the aliens, and that's basically what the plot is. Now, what do I have to say about Monster vs. Aliens? I'm gonna say this. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Monsters vs. Aliens. I think this is a great DreamWorks movie. I mean, I watched it a few years back, but I haven't seen it in a while until a couple 2 or 3 hours ago, and I think I enjoy Monster vs. Aliens. It's a really good DreamWorks film. Sure, it may not be as good as films like Shrek or any other DreamWorks film, but I think Monster vs. Aliens is underrated. This is a very underrated DreamWorks movie. Like I said with Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas, which I already reviewed on that movie, so I really enjoyed Monster vs. Aliens. Has a great cast, great storytelling, very good animation, and Now let's talk about the characters. Susan, she's a great character, and I have to say, Reese Witherspoon did a great job voicing her. Bob is a great character. I like Bob. And I have to say, Seth Rogen did a great job voicing him, too. So, And we all know Seth Rogen was in another DreamWorks film, which that would be Kung Fu Panda, which I already reviewed on Kung Fu Panda, so And I have to say, Will Arnett, I have to say, I have to say Seth Rogen did a great job voicing Bob, so, Now, got Missing Wink. Missing Wink he's a great character, and I have to say, Will Arnett did a great job voicing him, too, so, And Dr. Cockroach, he's a great character, too, and I have to say, Hugh Laurie did a great job voicing him, and And Derek, and he's alright. And Susan's parents, they're pretty good, and the villain, honestly, I forgot what the villain's name is. If you guys know what the villain's name is, please let me know in the comments below. But I have to say, he's a very underrated DreamWorks film. Like I said, with Elvis from Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. So yeah. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I enjoy Monsters vs. Aliens. So yeah. Very good DreamWorks film. So those are the characters I can think of on top of my head. Now, some scenes. Oh, there's some scenes I would want to talk about. The meeting scene with the commander. I forgot what his name is. This guy right here, and his and this guy right here too. So yeah, the meeting scene. Oh god, it was so funny, and I had to say, I forgot what these guys' names are. If you guys know, let me know in the comments below. But that guy right here, he wouldn't, at the meeting scene, that guy wouldn't stop screaming. He just wouldn't stop screaming and everything. God, he was so funny. And also when he was trying to enter the ship or whatever, he was playing with he had to do piano, but that didn't work, I guess. And oh god, that was so funny. That character right here, he was so funny. So yeah. Yeah, so those are some funny scenes in. Oh no, yeah, the ending scene where Susan said goodbye to Derek. Oh god, that was so funny. She said goodbye, Derek, and then so yeah. So yeah, and then I think Bob says, I thought I was in love with Derek, and oh god, that was so funny. Yeah, this movie does have its funny moments. So yeah, very good DreamWorks film, I gotta say. But again, I wouldn't say is as good as I would say this. It's not as good as Shrek or any other DreamWorks film, but I still think this is an enjoyable movie. Very underrated. So yeah. Yeah, I didn't saw this film in theaters when I was a kid. I did not saw this film in theaters. I watched this movie late. I want to say I first watched it, I want to say on HBO back in 2017. If I remember on top of my head. Maybe I watched it for the longer than that, but yeah. I think I first watched pieces of this movie in 2017 when it was airing on HBO or something like that. I don't remember when's the first time I watched this movie. But yeah. And then rewatching this film a few hours ago, I enjoyed it. So yeah. So yeah. And this is a DreamWorks movie I also need to get back to more often. Just like the Madagascar movies, and yeah. And yeah. Yeah, the only thing I remember about this movie is I think when I was a kid, I had a couple of the McDonald's toys. That the McDonald's Happy Meal toys of this movie when McDonald's was promoting it, I guess when it was coming out to theaters. I think I have a couple of the toys from that movie that McDonald's was promoting. I think yeah, I had a couple of the McDonald's toys from that movie, I think. And I did had some McDonald's toys for Kung Fu Panda as well. Well, when McDonald's was promoting it back in 2008. So yeah, and I had some Monsters vs. Alien toys for McDonald's when it came out. This movie came out in 2009. So yeah, You know, the same year as Up, Coraline, The Princess and the Frog, and Fantastic Mr. Fox. Which I'll review on Princess and the Frog next year in 2025. And I already reviewed on Up. And I'll probably review on Coraline around Halloween. And I'll review on Fantastic Mr. Fox some other time. So yeah. This movie came out the same year as these movies. And also Crowley with a Chance of Meatballs, which I'll review on that movie some other time. I love Crowley with a Chance of Meatballs. But now back to Monsters vs. Aliens. Like I said, I enjoyed this film a lot. So, yeah. Yeah, I wish I didn't, even though I didn't have that much nostalgic for it, the only time I grown up, the only thing I had for this movie as a kid is a couple of the McDonald's toys. But yeah, like I said, this is a very underrated DreamWorks movie in my opinion. And yeah, I enjoy Monsters vs. Aliens. This is a great film. But would I consider this to be the best animated film of 2009? No, that will have to go to Disney Pixar's Up. Yeah, which I love Up. It's a great movie, and I already reviewed on it when I was reviewing on all the Pixar films leading out to Inside Out 2. And yeah, so I do enjoy Monsters vs. Aliens still, but not as good as Up, which that movie came out the same year as this. Like I said, 2009. So, yeah. I enjoy Monsters vs. Aliens. Really good movie. Very underrated. So, yeah. That's all I can say about Monsters vs. Aliens. So, now I'm going to give Monsters vs. Aliens a 9 out of 10. Honestly, cannot think of any flaw. And it is a very underrated movie. So, yeah. So anyways, that's all I can say about Monsters vs. Aliens. So, yeah. So anyways, that is it for my movie review on Monsters vs. Aliens. And stay tuned for my next movie review, which will be on How to Train Your Dragon. But until then, see you in the next video. Bye.